Right off the presses, man. It's like a goddamn Onion article, like everything else in the news these days. Peter Thiel's fleeing the country and going to Argentina, of all places. Christ alive. Of all the places to go to. The billionaire's new roots in Argentina are said to be partly motivated by concerns about the future of the United States and shared beliefs with Argentina's right-wing leader. Nazi shit, you get it. It's the beginning of the Great Flight. The wealthy are going to go jump into their bunkers. It's really funny that he chose Argentina, though. Mr. Thiel has decamped from his homes in Los Angeles and Miami to establish a foothold thousands of miles away in Argentina's capital. Met with Javier Milei and his ministers. Purchased a mansion in one of Buenos Aires' most exclusive neighborhoods, hosted a dinner with local economists where he discussed the Antichrist, one of his favorite conversational topics. Very normal. TTS is back? When the hell did that get turned on? I'm just hitting any button on my keyboard. There, I muted it. Mr. Thiel, who has a history of collecting backup countries as he hedges his bets against the United States, is considering making Argentina another plan B. God, imagine fearing the whiplash. Imagine being afraid of what will happen when a fragile right-wing alliance with a weak cultural hold shatters in the U.S. and the proles get angry, and instead moving to Argentina. You know? Argentina, where right-wing cultural dominance lasts forever. Argentina, where the right-wing regime has a stable hold on the country. Christ. Thiel's been energized by what he's discovered in Argentina, finding harmony with Mr. Milei's libertarian/modern governance, becoming enamored with Buenos Aires' vibrancy. Lots of little boys there, the people said. They and others familiar with the billionaire's activities and discussions about the country spoke in condition of anonymity to share private conversations. Mr. Thiel did not respond to a request for comment. Unsurprising. Do people actually care about their country like they used to? Stupid poor people do. Wealthy people do not. Which is probably smarter of them. Capital is global, after all. Argentina may be an unlikely place for a billionaire looking for stability. Maybe. I mean, after Milei falls, there's going to be one hell of a whiplash, but he can just move wherever. It doesn't matter. Wealthy people, they can move anywhere. They could live in Antarctica if they wanted to. Just pay for supplies to be shipped. Who cares? Who cares? Dubai? Well, maybe not within drone range of Iran. Maybe not there. That Vatican officials, should Peter Thiel be burnt at the stake, essay becoming increasingly relevant? Yeah, no kidding. They met long ago, and at the table they had a gilded chainsaw. Fascism is so fucking soy now, dude. This looks like the goddamn promotional Resident Evil 4 controller from my childhood. Well, I do think we're nearing bunker time, though. It's really only a matter of time before the billionaires decry the collapse of the West that they caused, and they go flee to their island bunkers or super yachts or whatever. Speaking of, Zuckerberg's super yacht is parked in Seattle right now. I went down to the brewery over Gas Lakes Park and or Gasworks Park, sorry, and it was a conversational topic for quite a few people. You know, you look out over the Lake Union and you just see that mega yacht parked right off the dock, right over there in on Westlake. You sunk it? Buddy. I'm pretty sure that Zuckerberg's super yacht has a fucking guard submarine. That's not a joke. He spends tens of millions of dollars every year just on security costs for it. It's a Doomsday yacht. It is a crystal golem on the inside with a petrifying ray. It's actually filled to the brim with sentinels on the inside. Little mechanical spiders and such. You get it. You understand. You seen Zuck's bunker in Hawaii? Yes. You think it's because AI is not sticking as much culturally as they hope for? Look, I know, I understand it's a tired thesis, and I apologize, but I'm going to say this like 50 million more times before we all die in the great heat wave of 2042 or whatever. But I really do think that AI and like Palantir-esque panoptical surveillance are the attempt by the elites to find a form of government that works and is stable past liberal democracy. And it's not going to work, and when they realize that it's not going to work, they are all going to fucking flee. They are going to try to get the fuck out. Like, the investment in AI is like a 50-50 mishmash from the wealthy as a speculative vehicle to drive their wealth up even further, and it's doing that just fine, and an attempt to find a way of, like, mitigating the bureaucratic floor of maintaining a tyrannical, totalitarian government. Larry does own an entire tropical volcano island. They're all going to try to flee, man. They're all going to try to flee. It's so much more unstable than democracy, ironically. Well, I mean, right now it hasn't really been... They haven't really implemented it yet, you know? Hey Vaush, Argentinian here. Our bad dog. Should we worry much? Dog, you're in Argentina. Of course you should worry. What the fuck you asking me? What do you mean? You live in the world's only fourth world country. Yeah, you should be worried every day. All the usual then? Yeah, essentially. They'd be fools to implement it. I don't think the Palantir surveillance bullshit is actually going to succeed. Like, I don't think I think that right now we are still at a point in history, in like the material development of human history and technology, where society is 3 missed meals away from total anarchy. Anarchy, parentheses, neg. You know, let's not get too uppity about its misuse. The term, I mean. Let's not be too etymologically prescriptivist, or nominatively prescriptivist. You know, I still think that when shit hits the fan, like the flock cameras and everywhere aren't, like the flock cameras aren't going to like stop some big social uprising caused by a fundamental breakdown in like food distribution or water availability or whatever, you know? I don't think it's happening. I think it's kind of you know, just a dream of these people, really. They want a totalitarian government without the zeal it takes to sustain a totalitarian government. They're lazy. If nothing else, one thing that must be noted, Nazi Germany, North Korea, Stalinist Russia, these governments take a lot of work to maintain. You know? A lot of people, a lot of work, a lot of energy. You need a lot of, you know, the Stasi, East Germany, you need a lot of people putting work in, and that requires zeal. You need energy, you need enthusiasm, and for that you need good propaganda. And they're bad at producing propaganda because they're stupid and myopic and bad at communicating their intentions. I don't get why people try to argue with you on the point when Thiel literally said he thinks AI can be an alternative to politics. Yeah, well, Peter Thiel is useful because he says the quiet part out loud. He's not very smart. By and large, these people are very, very stupid. They're just too full of themselves, you know? Rationality is a process, and they live lives designed to insulate them from the critical processes that allow you to be intelligent. You know what I mean? They're surrounded by yes men. They're billionaires. They fail upwards. Of course they're stupid. Trump used to be smarter. Where's that clip? Is this that clip? Give me the clip.
I want to play for you one of the most chilling clips I've ever heard. And just hold on and trust me, because it's not that chilling until you realize what it means.
The basic idea was that we could never win an election on getting certain things because we were in such a small minority. But maybe you could actually unilaterally change the world without having to constantly convince people and beg people and plead with people who are never going to agree with you through a technological means. And this is where I think technology is this incredible alternative to politics.
That's tech billionaire and Republican megadonor Peter Thiel speaking at a Libertopia, a libertarian conference in 2010. He's basically saying that his political ideology is so unappealing that it'll never win elections. And
essentially, yeah. Why are these tech bros so boring? Because to be interesting to an extent is to be artful, and they are anti-art. Because they're not people, yeah. They don't even want humanity to prevail. Well, Peter Thiel certainly doesn't. These people are usually pretty misanthropic. And not in the cool way that I am. Thank you. Not in the lay epic way that I am. What's the after bunker plan? There's not really a plan. Anyway, I think that Peter Thiel fleeing to Argentina is probably I think that Peter Thiel is probably one of the more overtly paranoid and stupid billionaires. You know, as oligarchs go, I think he's relatively unintelligent. Certainly he's stupider than, like, Zuckerberg, or more stupid than Zuckerberg or Bezos or whatever. So him fleeing early, he's probably, like, just feeling a bit flighty. I don't think it means that the collapse is happening in 6 months or whatever. But I do think he sees the writing on the wall to an extent. Trump has not been able to secure a future for America where people like Peter Thiel can live safely, if that makes any sense. Like, Trump's job, from Peter Thiel's perspective, is to secure a totalitarian state. You dissolve democracy, and you live under a dictatorship of capital forever, empowered by AI, flock cameras, Palantir, whatever else. And it is obvious that Trump has failed. Like, he does not have the cultural weight. He's not strong enough. It's not going to work. And Peter Thiel's correct in that assumption. I just think it's funny that he thinks Argentina is a good place to flee after that. When will Musk hit $1 trillion? Probably during the SpaceX IPO, or following it. Yeah, Argentina will probably end up being a lot less stable than America when things fall apart. But again, Peter Thiel's not that smart. He would not be the first member of the global elite to think about the Southern Cone as a place to shelter from nuclear Armageddon. Martin Varsavsky, a Spanish-Argentine tech entrepreneur close to Mr. Thiel, has built a ranch in the Argentine city of Mendoza, which he said he sees as a potential shelter in case of World War III. They're all so fucking transparent, man. You think Trump will be offended? Nah, I don't think he cares or remembers or whatever else.